So I said I needed to apologize to these guys a while back. I'm gonna take that back. I'm not going to apologize. They're still dipshits. Dipshit is dipshit. It is what it is.
I don't know what
That's
we're talking
not
about.
surprising at all.
When you guys were trying to describe where Montana is in the United States,
Yeah, it's the
When we said the
northwestern end of the
Northwest.
country. I might have accidentally said Midwest.
What would you call that? The Midwest? Ish.
I don't know.
It's
You
the
don't think
West.
Midwest?
This is the Northwest.
yeah.
Why
should
can't
just-
you say Midwest?
Is it?
But it's not West.
I didn't
it's
check
the
in on
Midwest.
this, but
You got East and you got West, and this is the Midwest.
There wasn't I don't think anything accidental there. You guys are completely clueless. And I called you out on that. You probably remember the video. It wasn't that long ago, and I know you watched the video. I don't really know how to react to this. It's like these guys, do they even know what a map looks like? I mean, if you just picture America and you picture where Montana's at, I don't know why you would call that the Midwest. It's I think the term you're looking for, Phil, is maybe Northwest. Because like you have America and you have North, which is up here, you have South, which is down here, and then you have East, and then you have West, and it's way over here on the West. So yes, West is good. Quinton and Phil, thumbs up. West, you got that. Central, I don't get that, because there's like the center of the country. You know, and if you're centering it like north, south, east, west, so it's on the west, it's in the center, that would come down a little bit like into the center. I don't know. I'd say northwest, but that's just me.
I'll admit, I believed it touched California in some way.
You didn't say that at least. Thank God you didn't. You probably shouldn't have said that now.
Yeah.
So you think Montana touches California?
Well, I went and looked at a map.
After a few states
Nevada.
eventually? You could get there. Well, yeah, so does Florida. Florida touches California too eventually. If you're going to use that logic. But what I'm going to say, I'm not the type of guy that does that very often. I got to be careful, because someday I'm going to do it and I'm going to get called out for it. But it's very, very rare that Shane says something that he isn't pretty confident that he's speaking proper. You guys, you just wade out into the deep water and just start slinging shit like it's fact. And when you had that particular conversation, I was just like, seriously, you know, Midwest, like, okay, I don't see in any point where Montana's in the middle of anything. So I went and did some research, because I didn't know. I mean, I knew what you guys were saying was bogus, but I didn't really know what is the Midwest, right? So in your defense, the powers that be are all stupid. There is no definitive answer to this. So Shane went to the internet and he did a lot of research, and I'm going to just show you what I found, okay? So we'll start with this one. All right. That is what I think this is probably the most commonly referred to, and you guys should learn this so that you're not stupid no more. Is anybody else as confused as I am? This is the West. Now, why this isn't the West? Okay, this is the Northwest. All right, that kind of makes sense to me. I don't understand why this is West.
The Mississippi.
I don't care about that. Looking at the United States of America, if this is West and this is West, why is this West? And why is this West? Why shouldn't this be, you know...
Yeah, I don't know. I got to complain about that, because
like,
you would never think Michigan and Ohio.
This should be north, this should be south, this should be southwest, and this should be northwest. That to me, this is what I'm trying to say. The people that write this stuff and come up with this stuff are... I realize that people are going to climb all over this and say, look, it happened at different times and so on and so forth.
I think you're upset about what they're calling West and this and that. I'm pissed that there's nothing on here that says Wild West.
Okay.
I don't care. I mean, there's a lot more West than East on here, and one of them should at least be Wild. I mean, we got enough letters, we could spell it.
Okay. So this is, I think, probably when you'd be accurate if you use this, I think. But I still don't know after my research, because this is just the first one. But this one kind of, I think, so you would have been wrong. I guess you should have said Northwest.
This is the Northwest?
This one would give it to you, all right? But then we're not done yet. No,
Are you throwing those away when you're done?
You want it, Phil?
Yes.
You can have it, so you can study these. Then we got this one.
Oh.
So we got the South Plains, the North Plains, Pacific, Mountain, Lake, Appalachian, Southeast, Northeast. I mean, it's so looking at this, it's mountain. Okay, so that's another variation of it. I know. This is very confusing. It's very hard. Now we've got the Pacific region, the Rocky Mountain region, the Southwest region. Midwest is still seeming to be right there on this one here, and so there's definitely something to that. And I'm not arguing with you the fact that it has something to do with the river, but and when, right? You got to keep in mind that during the old Western days when they had like the Oregon Trail and all that kind of stuff, all of this was pretty much just like wild man country that, you know, you could take a big long trip and land somewhere over there and have something cool, I guess.
Everybody gets dysentery.
But yeah, you played that too much, I think. But again, the main reason I'm calling this out is because I called you guys stupid about it. I don't really know how to react to this. It's like these guys, do they even know what a map looks like? And I wanted you to understand that a lot of us are probably stupid about it.
Well, you can always look up on Google and find out what public schools are teaching kids, and then I'll give you a solid answer where I'm coming
They're not teaching them anything good. Now we've got the deep south. So
how does the Appalachian get a pass? I like how Florida's just so conveniently cut off from that.
It's just
It's just Florida.
not even the South. I would agree
Louisiana
with that.
too. They get they get dismissed.
again, I have no idea, but this is off of Google as I was trying to search up the regions of the United States. So it's kind of all over the place. So I mean, at this point, yeah. And again, this one here is really different, like the deep north, and it kind of swoops up here. It's kind of where they've decided to cut this off doesn't really make much sense. But I thought this one made the cut because of some of the things they were calling stuff. And you've heard some of it, like you've heard about the Rust Belt. I've never really known where the Rust Belt was or why it's called the Rust Belt. These are things that, you know, when my grandkids get a little older, we're going to dig into some of this stuff and we'll learn some of this stuff. It's too late for you guys, so I'm not even going to try to educate you further. It's and I'm sorry that your haircut is, I don't know if I'll ever get used to it. There you go. You could have just said west, and we probably would have been okay with west.
I like that one. That's
No,
my
you
favorite
wouldn't.
out of all of them.
You wouldn't have been, anything we said you wouldn't have been okay with. Be real.
No, I'm telling you what it should be is you can have southwest, northwest, you can have north, and you can have south, and you can have north, and you can have northeast and southeast. That makes sense to me. Break it up into blocks if you want, but break it up into blocks that make sense. Why this is the north, but this is the Midwest? Somebody needs to explain that to me.
You know, they're very liberal with putting west on everything. No wonder they call us the West.
Yeah. See, there's literally regions of the U.S. But why this is west and this is Midwest? Well, if this is Midwest, why this Midwest? Because it's south. It's like, I don't know. It's bizarre. So I would love for people to educate us. Feel free to comment on this stuff. I find it to be bizarre that there is no real definitive answer to this. Not as bizarre as these guys, you know, the way they handled the conversation. I still think there wasn't a whole lot of intelligence in the way they did that. I wouldn't have labeled where Montana was without first researching it and knowing where it was. I wouldn't just jump out there and say, Montana is it the Midwest? Is it the West? Or wait a second, it's south of Alaska? So I don't really know. Yeah, see, that's kind of the way you guys' conversation was.
Yeah. All right.
And it was really embarrassing. So, I don't know.
I thought Montana was like in this area.
You really did?
I didn't know it was touching Canada until I looked at a map.
So you didn't even know where it was in
No.
the United States, and yet
No.
you were going to label.
Oh.
So you're trying to make this sound better by saying, to me it was the Midwest because I thought it was down here.
No, I'm just confirming.
That makes
I
you
had
smarter.
no
So
clue.
in your mind, you moved Montana,
see-
therefore you labeled it
See,
right.
these two places call that state a flyover state. And so it's not important for anybody that votes to know what that state is.
Okay.
I don't know. That was a very piss poor attempt at me defending my lack of geography.
So you're down in Montana right now. Is this what you're doing?
No.
I just want to be clear for, it's not like nobody's watching.
Yeah, it was a jab back at the jabs. I was like.
So you don't know where Montana is located on the United States map.
I know where Florida is.
But is it in the south? Depends on which map you look at.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm done. Unless you guys got something you want to look at any of these? You got anything you want to say? You want to apologize for being stupid? Is there anything you want to do?
You should apologize for wasting Coro for this video.
Phil wants them
I get to keep them. I'm gonna hang them up in my shed.
so that he can figure this stuff out.
Here, El Paso, Texas.